Peace. Welcome back. Day 24. Last night I went to sleep thinking about accents and, growing up in America and hearing the tonnage and the frequency of the American accent on, the airwaves, the media, all the things. I always enjoy hearing, a thick English accent and to hear, UK English spoken in a different flavor than America or an Irish accent. I grew up watching a lot of BBC television with my mother and my aunts. They would play Scrabble, they would cook like Julia Child, and we would watch Masterpiece Theater. And, not that we didn't watch American shows, but there was something very specific about the British accent. And I guess I was always hoping for more information or something, because I didn't understand history. I really didn't have a grasp on it. So last night I was checking out different people from all over the world who were talking, and I came upon this one Irishman that was really going off. And I thought, I'm going to speak about accents. So I've never been to Europe physically, but each week I'm permitted to attend the Nation of Islam European Region study group under the guidance of Minister Abdul Hakim. And, he does an excellent job running the circles and tasking different study group and circle leaders. And we have really rich and vibrant discussions that are a blessing. But, when I was permitted and invited into the group, I thought, look at God. The only real two cultural influences that I've had heavily in my life have been that affinity for like the British, accent and culture, just kind of feeling like, not that there isn't something to this, but each nation has its own issues to deal with. But, that Americans were kind of bumbling or like more lower class, like not as together as the Europeans. Like there was just something about this cultural hierarchy that was well done in their export of, the narratives and the culture and everything. To see the architecture in Europe versus, like the strip malls here in America. I did grow up in a town that had like an architectural review board and lots of centennial houses that were really old and old infrastructure. So my little dot on Long Island where I grew up did have an aesthetic, but then you drove, probably 10 miles in, any direction, and you were in a totally different scene. So I just thought, look at God. And then Jamaica, when I first got into the group, Minister Abdul Hakim was asking people, because there were fluent French speakers. There's a lot of people whose native language is not English in the group. And so he was going around, taking a poll of who has different skills in language. And I said, I only speak English, but I do understand Patois a little, enough that I don't attempt to speak it, but I've been in Jamaica several times and I've been around enough, through, exported culture and music and movies and interaction that I do understand some Patois. Of course, it's always changing, but I can kind of pick it up a little bit. And that's really the only language that I'm able to pick up any meaning if given the opportunity. Most of the time, other languages, I really can't recognize anything. So anyway, all that being said, I just thought, look at God, and so what a better setting to really enter the classroom of God in a very serious, disciplined way than in the Nation of Islam European region with both a thick, perfect British accent, impeccably spoken, just really giving us food for thought, and then switch up to Patois or, it's been such a blessing. I keep saying that, but really, truly it has. It's like this ripple effect, and it does nourish my ability to do these videos. Yesterday, I still have all my notes out here. I was furiously writing. I was having technical difficulties. They always want you to upgrade your technology. I think my phone is at the end of its life, and so I keep having more and more glitchy things, and I'm hanging on to make use of it as long as I can. But so I was not able to speak. I said one thing at the opening of study group. I answered the first question, and then I got bumped off about 8 times possibly, and I couldn't unmute, and I couldn't I just didn't touch it anymore. I stopped touching it. I stopped trying to do anything, and I was permitted to at least hear, right? So it was funny because as soon as I got bumped off, I felt like my answer was real clear, and that the enemy, was displeased with an articulation such as that. And then, Ospati, I was like knocked off repeatedly the whole time. But anyway, it gave me a real focus to write excellent notes. And so I was just thinking about the blessing of accents. We listen to quite a number of audiobooks and things because they're good when you're in the car for long stretches of time, when you live far from things, when you have a lot of chores and things to do. And so, the accents and the blessing of accents and the cycle of all the things and experiences that I've had. So really has been a reflection point last night. I'm working on this video for Instagram, specifically taking a clip of, of an Englishman just like going off, assessing the situation from his vantage point of where we find ourselves in the world today. And then right as I went to sleep last night, we had watched some Irish movie. And then I found, YouTube suggested something as I was trying to make sure if my last video uploaded, which after 12 hours, it finally did. And then I got suggested this man, and as soon as I hit play, he had this very thick Irish accent. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go on this theme. I'm going to keep going with this because it has always been something that I felt sort of, and I know that when other people hear Americans speak, we have an American accent, but there is just something so nondescript about it. It always just felt like we were somehow naked, like not having a distinct sound to our speech or having certain nuances that really stood out. And, but not that much, right? Because I was remembering this one time that I was in Jamaica, that we were at James Bond Beach, and we don't normally do any touristy stuff when we would go down there. We would stay with a family that my children's father became close with when he was a young man, and he would go down there repeatedly. So, by the 12th trip down, he brought us for the first time. So we were, going out sporting, and we went to James Bond Beach with everybody, the whole family. And we were in the changing rooms, and I was interacting with some of the women there, and they thought that I was Canadian because I didn't seem like a typical American. And I was like, you are going to make me cry. No, but I did tell them that I was American, but I just thought like, that's a really good compliment because Americans are notoriously obnoxious when they travel. And so all that to say, accents have always been a point of learning and observation and blessing for me. So if you're an international viewer, let me know where you're watching from, and I would love to hear from you. So if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.